book are we talking about today?
Well, I'll give you a hint. Nellie Dean.
Have I read this book?
Yep.
So I'm sure I'll have absolutely no memory of it. Welcome to Between the Covers, where Merlin Mystery Series and Robin Hood Mystery Series author Jay Ruud and I, author of Mr. Catherine, discuss one novel each week to comprise Jay Ruud's list of the 100 most lovable novels in the English language. And today I need a second hint, and I think that's because you make the first and second hints too hard.
Well, if I'm going to give you 3 hints,
Well, give me the first hint
I don't
again.
want you to get it at the first. First hint was Nellie Dean.
Okay.
Second hint is Mr. Lockwood.
Okay. I need another hint.
Last hint, Thrushcross Grange.
Okay. This is an Austen novel, right?
No.
Oh, Thrushcross Grange. Thrushcross Grange. It's so embarrassing.
Well, it's all right.
It's all right that I have.
There may be a few readers out there,
Thrushcross
listeners
Grange.
out there who are yelling to you
They-
with the answers. But that may be because when this is posted, it will have the name of the book on it. So they will already know.
Put me out of my misery.
Wuthering Heights.
Okay. In my defense, I have not read that book in 40 years, I'm pretty sure. So,
Okay.
and I certainly did not expect a Brontë book right on the heels of a Brontë book. So
Gotta change it up.
that was sly. All right. So Wuthering Heights, which is a wonderful Gothic novel.
It's very Gothic.
All right. Well, this will be fun for me because I have the memories of this that are about like my memories of Jane Eyre before we reread it, where I just had the big drama in mind and didn't remember a lot of the, the things that actually make it into a novel instead of a short story. So where there's more than one thing that happens, right? And
There's
anyway.
many things that happen.
All right. So to build your list, you looked through a lot of existing lists and started reading through things, rereading things, and reading things you hadn't read before. Who else likes Wuthering Heights?
Well,
Don't tell us everybody. It's too long.
I'll try not to. Actually, I can't possibly fit them in. It would take the entire time of the podcast.
Yes.
Because Wuthering Heights appears on an astounding 90 great books lists,
90. Okay.
as enumerated on the website called the Greatest Books in the World.
So if I'm going to go and start a great books list, I'm just going to write Wuthering Heights and go from there.
Well, you can start with that one because you'll be in line with everybody
I'll
else.
be in good company. Who else? What are some that you'd like to highlight?
Okay, The Observer, Penguin Classic Readers, Entertainment Weekly, its top 100 novels, Telegraph's 100 novels everyone should read. It was number 12 on the BBC's Big Read. It was number 7 on the BBC's list of the 100 greatest British novels. It was number 6 on the Daily Telegraph's top 50 books. It was number 3 on the Guardian's list of the 50 best-loved novels written by a woman. But it's not just popular in English-speaking countries or in England and America. It also is on the top 100 books chosen by Canadians, and it was on the Australian Big Read, the Hungarian Big Read, the French Big Read.
Wrap it up, Ruud.
And, everybody in the world, it seems, has this book on their top 100 lists.
All right. Well, we'll talk about why. But can you give us the down and dirty summary? Can you earn the Harps of Glory again this week?
Well, let's see.
You've been doing pretty well.
Can I? So the action novel begins with Heathcliff being adopted suddenly into a family by the father who finds him as a homeless boy living on the streets of London and decides to raise him as his own. And Heathcliff becomes very close to the daughter of the family, Catherine. Cathy's brother, Hindley, hates Heathcliff because he's jealous of his father's affection for him, and when his father dies, he kind of turns Heathcliff into a servant that he abuses. Catherine decides to marry their aristocratic neighbor, Edgar Linton. Heathcliff goes away for 3 years. When he comes back, he's rich, and he wants to take revenge on Linton and on Catherine, and he marries Linton's sister. When Catherine dies, Heathcliff despairs, and the sorrows of the next generation of the family, largely caused by Heathcliff's sort of poisoned psyche, form the last half of the book.
Okay, Harps of Glory. That's pretty good.
All right.
That's pretty good. How long is this novel?
Not terribly long. It's shorter than Jane Eyre. It's probably 300,
Okay.
a little over 300 pages probably.
Depending on the edition.
Yeah.
When did it come out?
1847.
Okay.
Same year as
All right.
Jane Eyre, but a couple months later.
And it's interesting, we mentioned this on the Jane Eyre episode, that we visited the Brontë parsonage, the home, the Brontë family home in Haworth, West Yorkshire. And I wanted to mention that the reason we were in the neighborhood at all was to visit the grave of Sylvia Plath in Heptonstall,
Which is
West
a
Yorkshire.
15-minute bus ride from
Yeah, and it's interesting to me.
Brontë House.
Yeah, it's very close. I had never thought of this before, although, I guess I must have because I think Plath made some of the connections. Ted Hughes was a Yorkshire man, and he certainly had some Heathcliffy behaviors. He had some,
interesting.
there are some, you can see, I think she made those connections when she first met him, that he had a kind of,
Heathcliffian air.
yeah, that he came from Brontë country, and there were some Brontë character aspects to Hughes. So that's an interesting connection there. So, all right. So, why do you love this book? How did it make it onto your list?
Well, I think what's always hooked readers and kept them coming back to this story is the unrestrained passion and the undercurrents of brutality in the fierce love between Heathcliff and Catherine.
The unrestrained. I think you can even stop there, right?
Yeah.
Because it's unrestrained love, but it's also unrestrained negative emotions, right? Like,
Yeah.
I feel bad, so you're going to pay.
It's
Toxic masculinity.
It's fierceness of emotions.
Yeah.
And they reflect the harsh natural world of the rugged moors of West Yorkshire,
Yeah.
where the story takes place. In fact, the title of the book, Wuthering Heights, is from an old Yorkshire word describing the strong winds that blow across the moors.
Yeah.
And Emily Brontë says in the novel itself that Wuthering, which is the name of the house, Wuthering Heights, is descriptive of the atmospheric tumult to which its station is exposed in stormy weather. And it comes in the novel to figuratively describe the violent passions that govern the book's chief characters, both Cathy and Heathcliff.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this novel, we talked about archetypes with Jane Eyre. If you haven't listened to that episode, it was last week's. And then obviously these are archetypes, not just Gothic, but also romance, right? Like, it makes me think of the thing that I don't think people are telling their little girls anymore, but they used to tell, he pulled my hair. Oh, he just did that because he likes you. Which then codes for little girls that, mean behavior is how men express love or interest.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think there are some roots in this novel of these beliefs about how men express their emotions and how women are affected by that.
Yeah.
Discuss.
Well, Heathcliff does not act in that way toward Catherine.
Right. Okay.
But he definitely acts that way with his wife, with Linton's sister, who he marries and emotionally abuses.
Yeah. Yeah, which is I have a bad feeling, you have to pay for it, even though it's not your fault.
Yeah, she has to pay for it because he hates her brother and wants to get back at him. And he also mistreats Linton's daughter, who is also Catherine's daughter.
Right.
Even though she's Catherine's beloved daughter and looks like her.
But she's a manifestation of the relationship that he wishes had never occurred,
Yeah,
right?
so she's gotta be the sufferer too.
Ugh, so toxic.
It is very toxic.
Then why do we love it?
Because
I loved that book. I mean, I read it and I was like, oh my gosh, more.
Because you can feel with Heathcliff, even though you can't, root for him. He expresses such an intense love for Catherine. He tells Nellie, the maid, he says, "Where is she? Not there, not in heaven, not perished. Where? Oh, you said you cared nothing for my sufferings, and I pray one prayer. I repeat it till my tongue stiffens. Catherine Earnshaw, may you not rest as long as I am living. You said I killed you. Haunt me then. The murdered do haunt their murderers, I believe. I know that ghosts have wandered on earth. Be with me always. Take any form. Drive me mad. Only do not leave me in this abyss, or I cannot find you. Oh, God, it is unutterable. I cannot live without my life. I cannot live without my soul." How can you not feel that way? I mean, it's the most intense love. Or
is it a kind of catharsis, do you think? Like we can read of his emotions and we can feel like someone is acting out our feelings. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Maybe that's part of the appeal, that it's cathartic for the reader.
Yeah.
And also, I guess, just to see any character live into their emotions like that is, a lot of us are restrained and some of us are not honest even with ourselves about how we feel, right? And he is aware.
Doesn't pull any punches.
Yeah. Well, that's beautiful writing, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell the story all day long, but if it isn't written in that way, it's not going to be as appealing.
And Catherine has equally strong feelings, although you may think, as I'm sure readers have thought for 180 years, why did she marry Linton? He had the money. He had the connections.
It wasn't the same for women then. Well, when Heathcliff leaves, he's not rich, right? He's very powerless. No. He's got no family.
Yeah.
He's got no money.
It's another fairy tale-like story,
right?
Where the son who's rejected or who doesn't get the inheritance or whatever has to go off and comes back a wealthy person, a rich person who now is in control when he wasn't before.
Right. He has power. He had no power before. He has power now because money is power.
But Catherine says also to Nellie, Nellie, I am Heathcliff. He's always, always in my mind. Not as a pleasure any more than I am always a pleasure to myself, but as my own being. He shall never know I love him, and that not because he's handsome, but because he's more myself than I am. Whatever our souls are made out of, his and mine are the same.
So what is the context of that? Like, how does that explain why she married somebody else? Well, we know that societally she would have approached marriage in a different way than we might think of it today, where women choose, most of the time, women in this culture are going to choose based on love, right?
Yeah.
But that is not going to be what is expected of her, or even probably what she expects for herself.
Yeah.
She wants to be chosen by someone who will provide a safe life for her.
Yeah, and Heathcliff's certainly not going to do that.
It's because it's not just shallow with money and dresses, it's safety.
Yeah. But she seems also motivated. Her father's died by this time.
Yes.
And her brother, who's an idiotic brute, and is basically squandering away his inheritance. He's not got really anything to say about her marriage. So it really is her choice.
Right.
But I think she thinks that she's going to be able to provide for Heathcliff if she's got
Right.
some power with Linton. I think that's part of the motivation there.
It sounds like from that quote, though, tell me if I'm misinterpreting this because I don't remember the context of it, but it sounds like from that quote in a way like she's like, I don't have to be married to him because our souls are intermingled, because our connection is so deep. He can be married to someone else, I can be married to somebody else, and we will always be together.
Yeah.
And he doesn't share that view.
No, he does
He
not.
wants-
No, he does not. It also, I think, needs to be said that she does feel very comfortable with Linton in his house. She's taken care of. She knows that he loves her. It's a more normal kind of relationship.
Well, she's choosing an emotional security as well as financial, right?
Yeah.
Like that he will take care of her. He loves her.
Yeah.
Does he love her?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
And you know, he is sympathetic in the book.
you mean he's a sympathetic character, or he
Yes.
is sympathetic toward her?
Well, both, I guess.
Okay.
But he is a sympathetic character. But he's kind of, compared to Heathcliff, he's kind of a weakling.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, if you want to think about the influence of this kind of book on later literature, much less worthy literature, you might say. All the romances where the woman has a choice between the safe guy and the
passionate guy.
the bad boy. You always wanted to choose the bad boy, and she does.
I don't want her to.
Well, that's what happens in most of these
I agree.
romance novels.
I understand. That's the cliche, right?
Yeah, and that
The
cliche seems to stem from Wuthering Heights.
Where she didn't choose the bad boy.
No, she did not. And she knows what Heathcliff is like, and when she sees that he's deliberately wooing Linton's sister, Isabella, if I remember her name right, she warns Isabella, no, you do not want to be married to him. You do not go.
He's not domesticated.
And it's and it's not that she's jealous, which is what Isabella thinks.
Right.
It's that she knows Heathcliff is going to squash her like a bug, which he does.
Because she doesn't have the same kind of spirit as Catherine.
Yeah, and because Catherine knows that all he wants to do is get revenge.
Right. That he has an agenda, and it is not.
It is not in her.
It's not to have a
best
happy
interests.
home
No.
with his new wife.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very toxic.
Yeah, compared with Jane Eyre, this novel, which came out a couple of months later, met with a fair amount of confusion and distaste on the part of the reviewers.
Yeah, because Rochester is not brutish, right?
No.
He's not vengeful. He does his best, right?
Yeah.
Whereas you feel like Heathcliff is doing his level best to hurt people.
Yeah, and not only Linton and his sister, but also Catherine, because she
Hurt him.
hurt him.
But that, honestly, to just hurt Catherine makes a little more sense. It's not like admirable, but it's like, well, I get it, right? He's mad at her. She hurt him. But to hurt these other people, they're innocent, right? Well,
I mean, the sister's certainly innocent. Linton was always kind of, even when they were boys, still Linton was kind of snooty about him.
well, Catherine's child is completely innocent party.
Oh my God, yes. And so is Heathcliff's child. Heathcliff has a son with Isabella that he doesn't care about other than to use him as a part of his revenge.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so people, how does this become a classic when it was received with confusion?
well, or more than confusion. Here's a reviewer for Graham's Lady magazine. How a human being could have attempted such a book as the present without committing suicide before he had finished a dozen chapters is a mystery.
Oofta.
It is a compound of vulgar depravity and unnatural horrors. Wouldn't you like a review like that?
Well, this is Victorian England, early Victorian.
Yeah.
Well, that I suppose people were confused by it because it isn't. I mean, Jane Eyre is a kind of moral tale, right?
Oh, yeah. Jane Eyre.
She behaves morally and she is rewarded.
Yeah.
And the people around her who are moral are also rewarded, right?
Yeah.
Whereas this is, the reward is for the vengeance.
Yeah. Vengeance is the reward.
Yeah.
It's very, very aberrant for its time. Or any time, probably. I mean, it's a lot of other reviewers found similar faults with its treatment of mental and physical cruelty, disregard for Victorian morality, and the fierce savagery and passion that's displayed. But
It's not very Anglican.
no. But even some of those reviewers found it impossible to ignore the power and the originality of the novel in those quotations from the two of them that I read.
There's definitely a fearlessness in the writer,
Yeah.
a boldness, let's say.
Yeah, I mean, Emily was no Charlotte. I mean, she. There's not a.
They're both a pastor's daughter, right?
That's
Growing
right.
up in the same house.
Yeah.
Telling their stories to each other, inventing these things, and then these two books that are so different.
Yeah, I mean, there's a
there's
similarity in that
they're both
kind of
Gothic.
Gothic, yeah. But I mean, Emily's
There isn't a Christian reward.
there isn't a Christian sense anywhere in Wuthering Heights.
It's about the emotion, the
Yeah.
violent emotional life
Yeah,
of the characters.
yeah. And it's unfortunate that Emily didn't live to write another book. It'd be interesting to see what she might have followed this up with. But she did die very shortly after publishing.
Yeah.
In fact, we saw the couch that she died on.
I know.
When we visited their home.
Yeah, if you have, dear listener, if you are ever in West Yorkshire and Haworth, absolutely take the time to go there. That's one of the places I remember sitting out in the lawn there in their gardens and having this overwhelming sense that not only did I love it there, but I wasn't leaving. I think you found me and I said, go get the dogs and my dresses and come back. I'll be right here. Because it's so beautiful and you can see from those gardens, you have a view of the moors. You really get a sense of where their stories come from, right? To tour there is really astounding, and to see, like you said, the couch where she died and the rooms where they wrote, and not only wrote, but talked together about their stories and their imaginations and lived their family life. It's really beautiful. It's a wonderful museum.
Yeah. I think one of the influences on Emily, if you think of the time that this was written, there were some really severe social tensions throughout Europe. I mean, we don't think about it today, but class tensions sparked the publication of the Communist Manifesto in 1847.
I didn't realize that was written that early.
Yeah.
I think I thought
and the tensions that kind of sparked that document erupt in 1848 in revolutions all over Europe.
Yeah.
In France,
Yeah.
in Austria, in Italy, in Denmark, in the Netherlands, in Poland, in the German states. And in Emily's novel, Heathcliff, who's the foundling, possibly gypsy orphan, adopted by the Earnshaw family, is bullied by the family's heir, Hindley. He's thwarted in his ambitions toward the daughter, Catherine, by the patrician Linton.
there's a class struggle within the family.
And he ultimately triumphs and essentially overthrows his oppressors.
I just had
the
chills.
regime he establishes following his insurgency is a reign of terror. He is the revolution.
Well, when you think of what is coming, with the, decades later with the Russian Revolution, right? The terror that happens in those multiple waves of revolutionary zeal, right?
Yeah.
And that is, and of
And
course,
also
what had happened in the
French
French Revolution
yeah.
with the waves of revolutionary zeal and the executions, and
Yeah.
oh, you said that, off with her head. Like, oh, you talked to him, off with your head, right? So that's fascinating that she makes it into this microcosm
Yeah.
of a household.
Yeah. Or two households, I guess. But yeah, it's
Oh, I hadn't
it's a
thought of that.
microcosm of the state of Europe.
Which is, to overuse a word we've been using a lot, archetypal, right? Like the wronged person over exacting the revenge.
Yeah.
And then you look at, countries like South Africa, where they had the people talked about what they did publicly so that it could be acknowledged and they could move forward. Like, you have to make a concerted effort to go on after these kinds of crimes against humanity, right?
Yeah.
You have to be very mindful of how to go forward, because the automatic human response is overreaction,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is what Heathcliff, his whole life is dedicated to this overreaction,
Yeah.
which you get nowhere, right? You get more pain.
Yeah. Heathcliff is not happy by the end of the book. In fact, he's never happy.
No, he's not going to be happy.
Once Catherine leaves him, ever.
Right.
So there's that.
His animating principle is revenge, and that never brings happiness.
Yeah.
True happiness. He doesn't know Jane Eyre.
No.
It's so interesting that the sisters' books, they are different things. Jane Eyre is a kind of moral tale, right? She's a foundling, and how she responds.
Well, she's an orphan.
Yeah, that's what I meant. She's an orphan, and her response is, this kind of moral behavior that restores, right?
Yeah.
Or at least doesn't add to the pain.
Yeah.
And Heathcliff is an orphan, and his response is more pain for everyone, including himself.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And yet we love it. And obviously it's going to be because the writing is good, right?
Oh, yeah. It's incredible. In fact, here's a quotation from Virginia Woolf. She wrote this about Wuthering Heights. Wuthering Heights is a more difficult book to understand than Jane Eyre, because Emily was a greater poet than Charlotte. When Charlotte wrote, she said with eloquence and splendor and passion, I love, I hate, I suffer. Her experience, though more intense, is on a level with our own. But there is no I in Wuthering Heights. There are no governesses. There are no employers. There is love, but it is not the love of men and women. Emily was inspired by some more general conception. The impulse which urged her to create was not her own suffering or her own injuries. She looked out upon a world cleft into gigantic disorder and felt within her the power to unite it in a book.
Which one did she say was the greater poet?
Emily.
Emily. Because she was
says-
more attuned to the emotional upheaval.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's interesting. There's no I, she says, in Wuthering Heights. Because, Charlotte had written Jane Eyre in the first person.
Right, which we talked about.
But the way the narrative works in Wuthering Heights is completely different, but it's also really, really interesting and really experimental, because there are two narrators. There's the fellow who comes to rent Thrushcross Green, because, of course, Heathcliff, by the end, has inherited Thrushcross Grange. He's got the Linton's property and the Earnshaw's property, and he's renting out the house at Thrushcross Grange. And Mr. Lockwood is his name, and so he's just rented the Grange, and he visits his landlord Heathcliff at Wuthering Heights, and he finds the landlord, his servant Joseph, and the strange young man Hareton, who is the son of Hindley Earnshaw, the brother who had abused him, and a young woman named Kathy Linton, who is Linton's daughter and Catherine's daughter, living with him there at Wuthering Heights. And Lockwood finds the diary. Because of a storm, he's forced to stay the night.
I remember that.
And he finds
It's very gothic.
He finds Catherine Earnshaw's old diary. And he has a nightmare in which the ghost of Catherine scratches on the window to try to get in.
Gothic.
When he makes his way back to Thrushcross Grange through the snow, he falls ill. And during his recovery, he's told the story of the Earnshaws by the maid,
which is very
Ellen Dean, or Nellie.
Isaac Denison's Gothic tales are tales within tales, right? Like something happens. Yeah. Somebody's caught in a storm and they go to this strange house and there's the tale within a tale and it's something, malevolent and the environmental and threatening. But then there's so much more to understand about the world within this kind of spooky tale, right?
Yeah. And you're told the tale of pretty much most of the tale of Wuthering Heights through Nellie, the maid. She's been there 30 years.
She's an observer.
She was first maid at Wuthering Heights, and now she's at Thrushcross Grange, which she came to after Catherine married Linton. So she's telling the tale. And she has a particular fondness for Heathcliff.
Nellie?
Yeah. Also for the two children, basically, who are living with him.
Right.
They're not children anymore, but she likes them. She didn't like Catherine that much.
Interesting.
So what you're getting is the story as she saw it.
And she has a point of view.
She has her own point of view.
Oh, I love it.
And that may be one of the reasons you come away liking Heathcliff, is because you're seeing him from her point of view.
It's why you sympathize with Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Because they're centered.
Yeah.
Well, what you shared about Virginia Woolf and saying that Wuthering Heights is more poetic.
Yeah.
Makes me think of, how I think about poetry a lot of times, which is Wallace Stevens saying that the poem is about the thing that we could not define without the poem. And I think Wuthering Heights does that in a way because it kind of draws a circle around this thing and the behaviors of these people in microcosm. And then when you turn around, you can project that on the world, right? And that's what a poem does too. Like it takes kind of a small observation of a wild thing, maybe in a way, and gives you a flash of insight. Even if you can't articulate the insight, you have a greater understanding, right?
Yeah.
And maybe that's why people had struggled with the book. There was insight and understanding there, but they couldn't articulate it, maybe. Or also felt like, I shouldn't understand this. It's not something to be understood.
Yeah.
It's something to diminish, to put down, to put away, to hide.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
But Lockwood is basically telling the story. But he's telling the story about Nellie telling him the story. And he also has certain prejudices. In fact, you get the idea that he's very attracted to Kathy, the daughter of Catherine and Linton, and that he might be considering making her an offer of marriage. And Nellie seems to be sort of cheering him on with that idea.
Right.
But he has no liking at all for Heathcliff. And so you get these two points of view who are telling you this story, and the truth is maybe somewhere in between what they're saying.
Or even outside of it, because they're not at the heart, they're not the movers in the story.
No. I mean, Nellie can only tell what Heathcliff has said to her.
Yeah. Oh, that is fascinating.
And not what's inside Heathcliff.
Right. Right. That is very inventive novel writing.
It's very
Postmodern.
Postmodern. Yeah, it is.
Because it's a breaking down or a fragmenting. There's fragmentation of the point of view.
Yeah.
And that opens you up to who is telling this and why would they tell me this? What are they leaving out?
Yeah.
What are they assuming or attributing this to that maybe it doesn't have anything to do with it? Like, they have their own agenda. Each person does, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fascinating. I always learn so much when I talk with you about books. Well, why might someone not like this book? Since people did not like it.
A lot of people didn't like this book. And we've talked about reasons why they might not like this book. And yet, it's still very popular. It's a book that's challenging to the reader because of the unusual point of view and the unusual kind of unlikable characters.
Anti-hero.
But it's a powerful love story, and it's been a favorite source for film and television adaptations.
Sure.
I mean, readers coming to the novel after the classic 1939 William Wyler film starring Laurence Olivier as Heathcliff, or even after the less classic 1970 film with Timothy Dalton as Heathcliff, they're surprised at the book because Catherine dies in the middle of the book.
Right.
And in those movies, Catherine dies at the end. It's
like
the whole revenge plot that forms the second half of the book is left out of a lot of people's.
It's like Psycho, where the big star dies too soon in the movie, and everybody's like, "What? I came here to see her. She's dead."
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose it is. I'm still going to go with one of the reasons some people do like it is the catharsis. And there are people who do not want catharsis in literature. They want literature to be guiding, right?
Yeah.
Didactic.
Yeah.
And that's why people might not like this.
That's true. It is hard to read the novel, though, without picturing Laurence Olivier as Heathcliff.
I know, I really do see. I honestly now, in my own mind, I have more of a Ted Hughes image of Heathcliff because I know that Ted Hughes is from West Yorkshire. So, all right. Well, what number, where are we ranking this?
Well, let's see. Oh, first of all, let me just clarify something from last week.
Oh, yes. Taxes Abroad.
Taxes Abroad. Yeah, I was reading the bottom 5 novels that are on the
list so
far. And this one right before his Dark Materials, I could not read my own writing, and I realized now that it was Tales of Poe.
Yeah, I tried to read your writing, and I found Taxes Abroad. I thought it was Taxes Abroad, which I was like, I don't remember discussing Taxes Abroad, but it was Tales of Poe.
Complete Tales of Edgar Allan Poe.
Okay, all right. So that was the one that we were missing from the lower 5. All right, so where do we rank?
I'm going to put
Wuthering
this
Heights?
at number 15.
Oh, okay.
So right after the end of the affair and right before
Jane Eyre. Okay.
Because Emily was a greater poet than Charlotte.
There you go.
If Virginia Woolf can say it, so can I.
Well, Virginia Woolf has a lot of ways of instructing us, and that is just one of them.
Just one of many.
So awesome. Well, okay. What a great. So we got the Brontë sisters hanging out together in the teens.
And they're
well earned.
well earned.
Okay.
Okay, so it's time for Chaos Reader.
All right. So I mentioned last week that we had recently returned from Ireland, which is true. And while we were there, I bought with my gift certificate for being on the winning pub quiz trivia team.
Oh, by the way, one of the questions on the pub quiz trivia team was what was the name of the house that the Lintons lived in Wuthering Heights. And I finally remembered it.
And that was part of how we won.
Right. Yes, we wouldn't have won probably without that one.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, we didn't win by that many.
We were ahead, though.
We were
but
ahead.
Yes. Anyway, thank you. you saved the team.
I
There,
just
is
well,
that
I
what
just
you
wanted to bring it in line
All
with the
right.
Wuthering Heights thing.
So this is the book I bought with my gift certificate from the conference for the winning pub quiz trivia team. And it is Sinead O'Connor's Rememberings. And it is just that. It's a memoir, but it's really just...
Sinead O'Connor. Is she Irish?
Yes, she is. And it's just little kind of glimpses, little incidents, and I'm not too far into it. I'm in the 30s or 40s, page-wise, and it's just little vignettes of rememberings. And she has a unique way of writing, which is what I was hoping for, and talks about in the beginning parts of her life that she wasn't present for. And I get the feeling that what she's talking about isn't anything except that fame is a kind of destroyer of self. And so she's writing about things in the way that she can, looking back on them based on how much she was kind of present for them. And that a defining moment when fame took over her life was when she tore up the photo of the Pope on Saturday Night Live, and how the kind of monster of notoriety comes for her. So I'm currently just her remembering her childhood and things. And she had she had some difficulties in her family life. Her parents separated. Her mother was not maybe able to provide a lot of security for Sinead. And she even has a kind of remembering of talking to a piano in a family member's home. And the piano having memories and talking to her about play the piano, play the songs. And it's really, I love it because I think it goes back to, it brings out instead of suppressing some of those kind of magical moments of childhood where you have these experiences and they're real to you. And she writes about it as very real. And I really like it. I like her voice, and I'm excited to read more of her rememberings, especially now that she is gone. So we saw a large mural of Sinead O'Connor in Dublin. She is beloved in Ireland for good reason. So that's what I'm reading.
Okay, then.
All right. So thank you for listening to us, to our listeners all over the world, and to our friends and family who listen. Thank you.
Especially our listeners in Ireland.
That's right. Thank you, Ireland. Thank you for hosting such a wonderful conference in Killarney. Ireland is a great place to go, and for the great good crack and the great writing, because Irish people are wonderful storytellers, and we really enjoyed ourselves. So thank you to our Irish listeners. Like, share, follow, comment, post, etc., to help our podcast get to more people. And we will see you next week between the covers.